So I completely forgot to do an intro. So this is the finished look. I have actually been eating since, so that's why my lip gloss has kind of disappeared. I hope you guys enjoy it. This is just like a 5-minute no makeup look, really. It's something I do on a regular basis and I thought maybe you guys might enjoy it, so sorry for the really strange intro. But I hope you enjoy nonetheless. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is prime, and I'm going to use the Soap & Glory the Fab Pore 3-in-1 Oil Control Serum. It mattifies, primes and refines, and this is one of my go-to primers. It can collect a little bit under foundations if you're not careful, if you don't let it completely dry, but it is so good. And on no makeup days, this can be a lifesaver, because it really just mattifies the whole face. So I put that in a lot of the areas where I have pores and oiliness. So the next thing I'm going to do is, while that dries, is prime my face. So I'm going to use the Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer by Wet n Wild, because why wouldn't I? Use it every single day. The next thing I'm going to do is just conceal a bit of my face now that that has dried. So I'm going to use the LA Girl PRO.conceal HD High Definition Concealer. This is in Porcelain and it's like a little squeezy tube with a like brush tip applicator. I actually prefer this to the HD High Definition foundation. Seems like a lot, I know, but so I'm just going to take this Eco Tool sponge and just blend. Next I'm going to use a concealer. So I'm going to start with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Light Ivory. I also have the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer, Porcelain. This is just to cover up my dark circles, because I have very large dark circles. Any kind of makeup tutorials, because I don't think of myself as a makeup artist or anything. I'm going to blend that in again. So I'm now going to use the Liquid Camouflage. This is one of Tati's favourite concealers. So I'm going to use that to highlight my face a little bit, and I'm also going to use a little bit just to cover some of my horrible skin. So I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so that blended out really quickly and easily. Next I'm going to be powdering my face. So there's a couple of options here. I have my Too Faced Primed and Poreless Skin Smoothing Pressed Powder. If you wanted a bit more coverage, but I feel like the concealer sort of gave me that, but if you did want some more coverage, I have the Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder. This one is in transparent. And also one of my absolute favourite powders is the Wet n Wild Coverall Pressed Powder. I mentioned my drugstore favourites. I'm going to be using the Too Faced one today, and if I really think I need coverage anywhere, then I will use my Rimmel. I also have this e.l.f. little brightening powder, HD Under Eye Setting Powder in Sheer. This is meant to really brighten up the under eyes, so I'm also going to use that. So because I want to pack on a little bit of powder, I'm going to use more of a densely packed brush. And this is the Wet n Wild powder brush with my Too Faced. You also want to set your eyeshadow primer. Okay, so now I'm happy with that. Like I said, I don't feel like I need any more coverage. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. under eye. You don't necessarily need to do this, but I feel like it brightens up the under eye really nicely. So now I'm going to contour. I'm going to use my Catrice Prime and Fine Professional Contouring Palette. This is in Ashy Radiance. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. highlighting brush. I actually got this brush for free in one of their little bundles. You know, you spend £25, you get some free stuff. You put a code in that's on their homepage. Next is blush. So I have a couple of options. These Essence ones are really nice. I have 2 mattes and a satin. You probably already know what the satin is. I have Satin Love, which looks like this. I have this matte one, which is in Peach Me Up. I haven't used this yet, but I've been really into peach blushes recently. And then I also have their matte blush in Rose Me Up, which looks like this, which I have obviously used quite a few times as well. This is just a really nice nude. So I think I'm going to mix the Rose Me Up matte and the... Okay, so we're going to mix these two together. I have this sort of NARS Kabuki kind of brush. Look how much pigment came off on that. I'm going to tap. Okay, now that I look like I've been punched in the face, we're going to move on to highlight. From the Catrice Prime and Fine palette, there is actually a highlight, quite subtle. It's here. I also have this Wet n Wild Colour Icon bronzer in Reserve Your Cabana. This is a huge pan. It's really, really dusty, I will say that. Very similar actually, but you can actually see this one a lot more than this one. And I also have, just because I really, really love highlight, and I've been using this so much recently, I have the Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. You can see me watching Friends in my TV. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Anastasia A23 brush and this Wet n Wild. I don't normally tap this off because it's just kind of like a sheen to the skin. Can you see that? I'm also going to put a little bit of this down my nose. And then just for a little bit of extra pop, I'm going to use this shade here. Right on. Just right on there. You don't have to do that. If you want more of a subtle sheen, then this is awesome. But I just wanted like a glow. So for brows, I'm going to be using this Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara, Brownie Brows. I have quite full brows. Not really full, but pretty full. So for natural kind of brows, I'm just going to brush this through. I'm also going to put on a lip scrub just because my lips feel kind of chapped, and by the time we get to them I just want to make sure they're in good condition. So this is the e.l.f. Coconut Lip Scrub. I really like these sort of lip scrubs. Don't mind the mess. These sort of twist up sort of lipstick lip scrubs, I find them more convenient. You can get them in loads of different flavours too. But I was excited when I saw coconut. So next is eyes, and I have quite a few different options. So the one I go for all the time, if I want to just do a simple matte everyday look, is my Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette, which I will be using today. Alternatives, the Mega Match eyeshadow palette by Technic, and I also have the eyeshadow, the Mega Nudes by Technic. So these two are pretty good, but a bit dusty. And then one I was using before I found my holy grail was the NYX Lingerie. Never ever gets talked about, but it's a really nice matte palette. I don't really use these two shades, but this sort of orangey shade is lovely, and then there's like a warm brown here, and then like a really cool tone brown, and obviously a cream as well. And then I also have NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette in warm neutrals, which obviously does have shimmers in it, but you've got like 2 mattes in every single row. So out of 16 shadows you get 8 mattes. I really like these Primark eyeshadow brushes because they're really fluffy, so you can really buff out creases, but it's also slanted, so you can use sort of the corners to really get in there. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So really quickly, I'm going to be using the Peach Meringue just to cover up any imperfections in my eyes. I'm going to bring that all the way up to the brow bone. So one of the looks I really love doing is mixing these two together, which is Peach Tea and Peach Cobbler. So I mix those two together and just go in to my crease. And then I'm also going to take both of those shades directly on my lid. Okay, so now that my eyes are completely covered with mattes, I'm going to use Peach Tart, which is here, with the angle part of the brush. I'm going to dab it out, and I'm going to put that deep into my socket, just to deepen this up ever so slightly. I'm also going to take that on the outer corner, just to deepen it ever so slightly. And then I'm going to use Peach Meringue, just ever so lightly, just to blend out any harsh lines. And then I'm also going to use Peach Butter, which is the shade below Peach Meringue, and I'm going to put that in my inner corners of the lid, just to kind of brighten that up. With this Anastasia Beverly Hills little brush that you get in all the kits, I'm going to use Fresh Picked, which is down here. I'm going to tap it off, and I'm going to put that directly under my lower lash line, just to sort of bring some. You can take the Catrice Prime and Fine highlight and just, again, this is quick makeup, so no need to be precise. Okay, so if you really want to, you can use a brown eyeliner. I like to use this Marc Jacobs Rococo. I've been using this a lot more recently. You don't want to pull it all the way in because otherwise it's really deep. Okay, so then mascara. I've got this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which I've been adoring, but as I keep using high-end products, I'm going to be using this Essence The False Lashes mascara. I adore this. It has a brush like this, sort of like curved, which is not very natural. Probably would be better off with the brown, but I like black mascara. How crazy is that mascara? Okay, and then lastly is lipstick. Something I forgot to mention in my Too Faced review was this Too Faced Melted Matte Liquefied Matte Long Wear Lipstick in the shade Sellout. I forgot to mention it because it was in my handbag and I use this all the time. So I will do swatches of everything. So this is the Too Faced Sellout. It's just a nice, very warm tone nude. I also have this Kat Von D Everlasting Lip Liner, the shade OG Lolita, which is ever so slightly more pink. So I haven't really used it too much yet, but it's very creamy. I then obviously have my Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Colour in Be My Baby. This is one of my absolute perfect nudes. I also have this e.l.f. Praline Lip Crayon. I haven't been using this too much just because it doesn't go well with lip glosses, and I've been loving lip gloss recently, but that is here. And then the rest of my lip liners, I have this e.l.f. Lip liner, which also has a lip brush at the end, which is a pretty good lip brush really, in Caramel. I think it's a little bit too dark for me, especially as a nude day. So, oh, I forgot to mention this, my Too Faced Peach Kiss Moisture Matte Longwear Lipstick in Sunday Funday. It's a really lovely colour. One of my favourite nudes in the whole entire world. I also have this e.l.f. Lip liner. I think it's just called Nude, which is here. This is one of my favourites as well. This is the NYX Suede Matte Lip Liner in Soft Spoken. It's just ever so slightly deeper. I really like both of these. Both of these are really, really good. This also has a sharpener. It's e.l.f. one. I then have the Huda Beauty Lip Contour in Bombshell, which is very red. I also have this Gigi Maybelline New York lip liner in McCall. This colour just spoke to me. But the one I'm going to use is the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout Gel Lip Liner in Bear to Comment. I don't know why people don't talk about these. These are incredible. So I'm going to put this on and then talk about my lip glosses. This is the shade here compared to all the others. So I have two lip glosses that I've been really, really liking recently. And I'm not really a lip gloss person, so that's a big deal. These are both by e.l.f. This packaging is so cute. So this is Nude Kiss and this is Mocha Kiss, and I will show you more close-ups. So this one's a lot deeper brown and this one's a bit pinker. So I'm going to use the Nude Kiss today. They have these really cool applicators. So you can see one applicator looks more pink and the other is more brown. They're really comfortable, they're not sticky. They're not the plumping ones, because I think they've recently came out with lip plumping lip glosses, but I'm not really interested in those. I really, really like these two though. And lastly, setting sprays. This is the Glam Glow Glow Setter Makeup Setting Sprays. So I hope this was a little bit helpful. It was just kind of like a quick makeup tutorial. Please leave a like if you did enjoy this. I would really, really appreciate it. And subscribe if you want. I would love to have some more of you. But I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are. And If you would like more tutorials, please let me know in the comments. But I hope to see you all very, very soon. Bye. Really sorry about the light. So, ooh, yeah, it's still broken. Why are people wanting to be loud when I'm filming? And I have really hit pan on this. I'm literally using my viewfinder for this. I wish I was sponsored by e.l.f. I would talk them up. Because apparently I just use Wet n Wilds all the time. It looks like I don't have the blind down, but I do. When did that fall down? I sit in the most uncomfortable positions to film. I'm getting further and further down. This is so far.